Welcome back to Shining Force. This is going to be just a quick episode, hopefully. It was going to be a quick episode, but then it took me 10 minutes to get my computer to function so it could open the capture software. So we may have to run over a little. It's going to be a quick episode mostly because I'm just going to do this before I have to get my laundry out of the machine. So I may have to wait. This battle shouldn't be very long though. Oh, and I gotta make a copy. I'll remember to make a copy. Oh, no, that's not what no, that's... Oh, okay, I thought I needed to press down, I need to press sideways. So I can make another copy. Between this episode and the last one, I did actually do some off-screen grinding. I know I said that there's not really a point in leveling up the characters you're not using. Gameplay-wise, there isn't, but I figured I'd do it just so I could show off what they look like when they're promoted and stuff. You know, just for the benefit of the imaginary audience here. So let's just scroll through our list. You can see that everyone is at least level 10. Oh, except for Domingo. Domingo works differently than the other characters. He doesn't have a promotion. So basically he levels up. His levels mean more than the other characters. You can see he started with higher stats because he'll never promote. So I think he just levels up to whatever the cap is. So although he's only level 7, he's far more powerful than some of my characters. But everyone else is min level 10. Jogurt is also, you can level him up, but nothing changes. So we'll only level him up if it's even. It's very difficult to do because all his stats are 1. Maybe with the power ring. Maybe we'll try it someday. I don't think it's possible without a lot of patience. All it does is give you a ring that lets other characters look like Jogurt. So, and you already can see what he looks like. He looks like a hamster. Maybe we'll use him in battle one time just to show him off. But everyone is doing quite well. And I'll probably just keep doing this and just kind of get everyone to the promotion cap at least so you can see all the promoted sprites. Today we're going up to this castle. I originally thought we were going to recruit Earnest in this battle. But actually we apparently just have to break through to reach the harbor. So this is like the outside of the castle. We're starting off our party. We have all of our flying units here because they're very convenient because this has little walls and stuff, so they're cool. We've got Amun, now at level 11. She actually also, I thought both of the bird people were dudes as a kid because their class is literally called Birdman, so I thought they were men, but apparently, according to the internet, this is actually a lady. So Amun is a lady, is a bird lady, and Balbazak is a bird chap, apparently. She leveled up really good and actually got a little bit tanky, which is nice. And we've got Balbazak over here. We've got Kokichi, who I'm still working on. His stats aren't amazing yet, but he seems cool enough to keep. And Domingo actually flies as well. He's our only flying magic user. Then I've still got my wizards, new character Gunts. I never knew what he was as a kid, S-Knight, but apparently he's a Steam Knight. Which is because he's in the steam armor. So you can see that his move is low, but his stats are just, oh, so good. We have May, my favorite knight. We've still got favorite healer, Xylo, best werewolf, and of course Ben. So let's just overview the map. I've played this map like 10 times, leveling everyone up, so I'm a little bored of it. Basically, there's a break in the wall down here, and we're gonna climb up to that door up there and get into the harbor, I guess. There's not too much to it. We've got these various Silver Knights who are going to be a common enemy now. This is a new enemy for this battle, the Hellhound. They're interesting because you can see their attack is really low. They'll sometimes do a regular attack, which will do like 1 damage even to your squishies. But sometimes they'll do a special move where they breathe fire, and that does like 12 to 13 damage, which for some of your characters might kill them outright if they have low HP. And if you've taken a chip damage, could obviously be quite dangerous as well. I don't really know the percent chance of them doing each one. It seems kind of random. We've got plenty of Pegasus Knights, healers. Oh, we have another one of these artilleries that we saw last time. And our boss, I believe, is this Chimera. It's one of these 2 enemies because I've killed all of them but those in previous training battles. So let's show off our buddy here. You can see that he already has Freeze 2 at level 7. So this is what I meant about levels work a little differently for him. His level will look lower, but proportionally, because he doesn't have as many of them because he doesn't promote, he's further along in his level progression. And he got a deadly attack. Very nice, Domingo. He's also extremely cute. He's literally just this little squid guy. He's so darn cute. Oh, you know what I should have done is given her the elf arrow since I'm not... we found the elven arrow last time in a chest, and I gave it to Hans because his attack was a little lower. But since he's not in this battle, I really should have given it to whichever archer I was using. Oh well. The elven arrow, I completely forgot until I actually used it while grinding. It's cool because it's our first weapon that has range 3. So it's really nice. So we can get a little bottlenecked here, which is why the flyers, again, are nice because they ignore it. Because otherwise, your melee guys will start to stack up over there because there's that little bottleneck. It's not as bad as it's been in some chapters, but it does make the opening a little slow. I also, as I've been kept saying that I was going to do, I did finally look up the mechanics for leveling up and promotion, because I couldn't remember whether you should promote early, when you get to promote. It's been so many years since I played this game. And also, it's like my memories are kind of blurred from playing Fire Emblem all the time, so I'm like, ew, does it work like that one? And what I found was actually really fascinating. Like I've said so many times, the only SRPG I really play, or tactics RPG I guess, is Fire Emblem. And Fire Emblem, the mechanics are different in the different games. There's a lot of Fire Emblem games, so I'm just sort of, this is a super generalization, the individual details are different in each game. But for the most part, Fire Emblem level ups are pretty straightforward. You basically, in each of your stats, you have a % chance that that stat will increase. So for example, if you have a 50% strength growth, let's say, that means every time you level up, there is a 50% chance that you will get a point in strength. Again, the mechanics are different in different games, so that's simplifying a little. In some games, that raw number may mean different things, but I'm not going to go into that right this second, because it's not relevant. But the point is that it's the same every level. So on average, and in Fire Emblem, if you get every possible level, you wait until the cap to promote. There's a total of 40 levels. You can get up to level 20 before you promote and level 20 after. So in theory, on average, if you have a 50% strength growth over the entire course of your leveling, you should get 20 points of strength, right? Obviously, that average will only be true over a long stretch of drawers. It's the same as like flipping a coin, you know. Yeah, over the long term, you'll get about half heads and half tails, but in the short term, you could get 3 heads and 1 tail or something when you flip 4 times. So although on average, over the course of playing the game, if 1,000 people played the game, on average, see, this is the Hellhound's fire attack. You can see it does a lot, but its normal attack does like nothing. So it's a dangerous enemy, but it's dangerous at random, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, as I was saying, you know, if 1,000 people play the game, on average, that's what will happen, but for your one playthrough, maybe you'll get lucky and get a point of strength in every level. It's not likely, but it could happen. Maybe you'll get unlucky and never get a point, you know, or any mix in between, right? Unlikely things can happen. I'm just going to show off Domingo's regular attack. He's a mage, so we won't use this a lot, but check it out. Look how cute! He's just a little squid! I love Domingo. He is adorable. He's so good. And he's so powerful! Best combo. But anyway, yeah, so in Fire Emblem, there's a fixed formula, basically. It's the same every level. It is static. So it's very easy to understand how it works. The formula is extremely simple, but there is a fair amount of variation, depending on your individual playthrough. I had sort of assumed Shining Force had a similar thing going on where there's just a percentage likelihood of increasing your stats, but according to the fairly small amount of Googling I did, how the stats and level ups work in this game is amazingly complicated, to the point that I'm just like, the designers of this game made it a lot harder on themselves than they had to. In terms of just the sheer complexity of how it works. Apparently, there is some randomness, but it's constrained. My impression from just the couple random old forum posts I read, I wasn't that dedicated to looking this up, you guys, I just took a peek, is that at each level for each character, there is an average stat, right? That's about where the average should be. And then there is randomness each level and whether you'll get points, but the further you go away from the average, either above or below it, the more the formula will pull you back to it. So if you don't get as many points as you're supposed to on average, you'll be more likely to get one. If you have more than you would on average, you're less likely to get one. So essentially, there may be a little randomness, but ultimately, you're always going to be hovering right around that mean. There is not a lot of variation. Apparently, it's, according to a forum post I read, it's like, I think it's, the boundaries of this are like 3 points, so you're probably never going to be more than 3 points away from the mean in either direction. You're just not. Which is very different from Fire Emblem, where, again, on average, if you played the game 1,000 times, if you average across all of your runs, that average is going to be right around, you know, if you have 50% growth rate, it's going to be right around 20 points across the 40 levels. But in any individual run, you could have big swings. Your character could turn out really shitty or really well. Whereas in this game, that's not the case. You're going to be very consistent. Which is kind of nice in a way. Like, that is, to me, that's sort of the joy and frustration of Fire Emblem, is the randomness, where it's like your character could unexpectedly turn out super amazing and be like the ultimate warrior, but they could also unexpectedly be pretty terrible. So it's, you know, it kind of adds fun to each playthrough. You don't know which characters will end up being the best, but it can be frustrating at times. Whereas this game, you pretty much know who's gonna get what. And also, apparently, there's no point in waiting to promote. They can promote at level 20, from what I read, and there's no point in waiting because, unlike in Fire Emblem, again, where every level you have the same chance to get a point in every stat as every other level. Like, your growth is fixed. And so essentially it's like you're rolling the dice, right? The more rolls you do, the more successes you could potentially get. In this game, apparently, from what I read online, again, so I guess we'll find out if it's true, there is your promoted class just has base stats, and you'll have them. If your stats are above those, they are reduced. If they were below them, they're increased. It doesn't matter. There's no point in trying to, like, get the perfect stats or anything prior to promotion, because promotion will just reset it. Which is nice, because it means that we don't have to care. We can just level everyone up to 20 without really worrying about who's doing well or poorly. It'll all even out. In a way, it's also disappointing, right? Because it's like, if you get some really lucky level ups, it's not gonna matter. But you don't have to keep track of it. Apparently, after promotion, it works differently, and it is theoretically possible to maximize your stats if you have the patience for it. It's like, it gets harder and harder again because the game... Apparently, the formula, I don't know if there's a definitive... I'm more used to Fire Emblem where a lot of this stuff is just people look directly at the code, so we know exactly how it works. I don't know if that's been done with this game. It's an old game and it's not quite as popular. But the impression I got, again from forum posts I read, is that apparently there's like a complex lookup for each class and how high a level you got to. Oh, I think they can promote before 20, but it's like you should get to 20 because there's a lookup table, and the amount of stat in each level up is partly dependent on how high your level was when you promote it, with 20 being the maximum. So if you did not get to 20, you will never have as good level ups. Your stats are just permanently, which the game does not tell you. I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like it balances out, because you'll have better stats early because you promoted early, but then later in the game it'll be harder. But I'm like, that doesn't really balance out, because later in the game, when it's harder, you need the stats more. Promoting early makes the game temporarily easier, but you could have done it anyway. Later it could get really hard. But I'm also someone in Fire Emblem who always waits to promote. I have no interest in efficiency runs. I just want to max everyone out, you guys. But yeah, the fact that the game doesn't warn you of this, and also doesn't indicate that there even is a cap to promote at, is like, thanks game. But it's an old game, right? And also, again, I do not have the manual for this game. For all I know, the manual does explain this. I have not read the manual of this game. I never owned a physical copy as a child. We had Sword of Heja. I don't even know if I read... I don't remember if we got it new or used or anything. I don't really remember ever having read the manual, but we may have owned it. I was a little child, guys. I don't really remember. But anyway, basically, I will try to level everyone up to 20 so we can promote them and see their promoted classes and all and get the best stats we can get. Not that we're gonna, like, grind to get the perfect stats or, like, do a bunch of resets or anything, because that would just take so much time, you guys. It is not... It's not that difficult of a game. I think we'll be okay. I also, interestingly, again in Fire Emblem, you have character has their growth rates, which are known. And this is for every Fire Emblem game. They've, even the ones on the 3DS, which like we're like, oh, they're gonna be harder to hack or whatever. Like I get the the code for it. They're all, you can go look up a table online that lists what the growth rates are for every character in every Fire Emblem game. They're all known, and the mechanics are known because you can just look at the people who look through the code. Through like debuggers and stuff. Whereas in this game, all I could find online from, again, it's possible it's out there and I just wasn't willing to put forth the effort to look beyond the one or two, like the first couple Google results, because really, this is not that important. I actually do, in Fire Emblem, look up all this stuff, but I'm a little obsessive with that game. But anyway, all I could find was different growth formulas, basically. Not the actual numbers of the formula, but like the different slopes. So some stats for some characters, each character in each stat has one of the patterns. Some are linear, some are they're more quadratic, so like they increase quickly at first and then it levels off. Some are the opposite. They're like a negative quadratic, where I guess more like an exponential, where they're slow at first but then they speed up towards the end. Some of them this S-shaped curve where it's like at first it goes quickly, then it slows down, but then it goes quickly again. So basically all the stats have some certain growth pattern. So some of the characters where I was noticing that like we keep getting a lot of zeros in level ups, I think it's because a couple of those characters are listed as having those quadratic growth patterns, so maybe because we've gotten over the curve. And that's just normal for those characters. So all of that was honestly kind of fascinating to me to look up. I was like, oh, so that's how it worked. And again, I was amazed at how complicated it is, because and maybe I should have expected this, because Fire Emblem in general is very mechanically simple. Compared to most tactics RPGs. Like even, I played like one level of Final Fantasy Tactics for Game Boy Advance, the sequel, the one with Marsh, as a kid, and I was like, it has facing and elevation. I was just like, this is a little fiddly. I don't want to, it's a little, Fire Emblem is very straightforward. It basically tells you the percentage chance of everything you want to know. You don't know that for the growths, obviously they're hidden, but you kind of get it. You can kind of get a sense pretty quickly of what that character will generally be like. So it's all kind of straightforward. And I guess it shouldn't surprise me that that's also true for how level ups work in that game. That the formula is much simpler than for most tactics RPGs. I would honestly imagine that this game, not that I know, I haven't made any great study of the mechanics of tactics RPGs, but it wouldn't surprise me if this is more common than the sort of Fire Emblem super bare bones, each stat just has a percentage likelihood way. But I am a little amazed at how incredibly complex it is, because it's like, this isn't really that involved of a game. It's not that it's not good, it's fun and all, but it's pretty, you go on each map and you just fight stuff. There's not like a lot of tweaking of each character you can do. They could have just given everyone flat growth, or you could have just made them all fixed so every character levels up the same way every level, or you could have done a percent or anything. But what they actually did with like lookup tables and things we're setting and, constraining to the average seems like incredibly complex in a way that it seems like the game itself isn't involved, like complex enough or involved enough to really need. It's like, was this necessary? The game is not very complicated. And there's so many, it's not like you as the player can really control a lot of that stuff. That's why there's not that many tweaks. There's not that many options for like weapons. It's an old game that's pretty simple. It pretty much just is what it is. You don't have a ton of different like tweaks and options you can do. You have plenty of options of which party members to use, but for each one, there's not that many options of weapons. There are no armors, it's just kind of, you got what you got. So it's sort of amazing to me that they made the growth so involved. But all that was at least interesting to read about, and also made me realize that some characters as a kid I thought weren't very good. It might actually be that they just have those exponential growth rates, so they don't seem good for a long time, but if you stick with them, they get good. And I think as a kid, I probably just didn't end up using them because I was like, their stats suck, I'm not using them. Which, to be fair, there are so many really good characters that it's like, why? But we will be probably going to the final battle with just whichever ones I think are coolest, regardless of whether they're actually the best. I also wondered again whether I ever actually finished this game, because as I looked through the list of recruitable characters, one of the ones that you get, like the third to last one I think, I was like, oh, I remember that guy. I remember recruiting him, but I didn't really remember one of the later ones at all. It was just like, who is this guy? So I'm kind of wondering if I played this game to the last couple levels and then I just never actually got around to finishing it, or if it's just that, it's one of those things where if you played a game multiple times and not beaten it every time, because I think this is my memories of so long ago, I think I may have played the opening more than once, gotten like partway through and then lost track of it. So it's possible that I simply played the later chapters less. I played them like only one time, so I don't remember them. I have no idea if I ever beat the game though. It's also possible I don't remember those later characters because I did not use them. You know, because it was like, you already have your whole party, you don't really need this extra person. Because that's also 100% possible. That's so common in games, right? Where you get a character towards the end and you're like, you've been using your current party so long, it just seems like more trouble than it's worth to just redo all of it. I might try some different characters in this playthrough, just to... A lot of these, honestly, I don't think I ever trained Kokichi as a kid. I just did, you know, I was like, oh, I already got my party, so, you know, I'll mix it up a little this time and actually try some of them out and see how it goes. You're also seeing the problem with Gunts in this chapter. He really falls behind. And I don't mean in levels or stats, I mean literally his movement speed is lower, so he just can't keep up. I have to check if those legs of haste, the little chicken drumsticks, increase your movement, like increase your agility, or if they literally increase your movement rate. Because if they increase movement, he might be a good candidate. Because he's really strong, he just can't move very far. He's like the knights in Fire Emblem, which I pretty much never end up using because they don't move fast enough. They fall behind! Good job, Diane. We didn't get a lot of levels this time, mostly because I already grinded, so everyone's already pretty strong. And you can see that even though I started later than I meant to, it's still only been 20 minutes. This level is not very long. It's short. So that's that, and now I think we may have a cutscene? Not sure. Here we are in town. But yeah, so basically I'm gonna try and level everyone up to 20 and just promote them, and then we'll just use whoever. It seems like it doesn't... Who the fuck are you, you weirdo? That was strange. That was very strange. Did he summon the monsters? It's Earnest! Oh, he's fighting the Chimera! I was wondering what that thing was. Now we'll recruit him. Get away, you overgrown mutt! I'm not stopping until I finish Balbazak. Balbazak is the boss we're gonna fight in this castle. Grr, snarl. Eat steel, you mutt. Okay, Earnest, if you're not tough enough to kill a Chimera, I just don't... Oh, good, he did kill it. Okay, you're worthy of joining the party. Ernest, could you slow down for 5 seconds? I have a healer. Also, you're searching for Balbazak, but you walked into a bedroom. So he's not here, buddy. It's you! Let's join forces. We can help each other out. Of course, Ernest. Welcome to the Shining Force. You are yet another centaur. I am just swimming in centaurs here. There's so friggin' many. Oh, I see. There was a secret door. That's why he came in here. That makes more sense. He's really... It's kind of interesting. A lot of the characters just show up with no real introduction. He gets a pretty badass introduction. He body slammed a wall open. It's like, dang, dude. So where are we? We're inside that castle. But I'm not entirely sure where that is. You're Ben, huh? Earnest said you'd be coming through. Be careful, I sense trouble. But where are we? What is this place? I want to know the name of the town at least. Because there's a couple more secrets we want to get in the game, and I'll know to look for them because they occur in 2 specific towns. I haven't seen this sprite before. Who are you? Why do you have a unique sprite? Nobody is dead, so we'll just save the game for now. Yay, we finished that battle. It was like the fastest battle ever, to be fair, partly because everyone was leveled up a little. It also just was a small map. You know, there's not a lot going on there. That looks like some kind of door. I'm not sure where we are. If you're Ernest's friend, you must be okay. I'll open the door for you. Who? But he busted in here to kill a guy. So, like, why are they all his friends? Everyone in here hates Balbazak? Oh, I did not mean to go into another battle, Matt. No. Whoa, this is Balbazak. Dang, look at that guy's face. It's interesting. He's actually... The last couple, like, generals of Runefaust we fought were all monster people. Like, that dark elf lady who summoned all the marionettes. We didn't fight her yet, but we saw her. And the dragon dude. This guy seems like he's just a normal human, but just, like, he has glowing red eyes for some reason. He's kind of scary. That is Balbazak, a commander of the Runefaust army. You must destroy him. But we're actually not going to fight this battle yet because I want to explore the town more. I didn't realize this would lead to battle. Also, I don't know why us being Earnest's friend meant we were let in here. Let's check it out anyway, though, at least. This battle may not take very long, assuming that we don't die, because the map is really small. Which kind of makes sense, it's a harbor map. Oh, these are the upgraded bats. They're sea bats! Actually, they may just be the same as bats, but differently colored. I'm not sure. So we got a bunch of those. Oh, so there is another battle where we fight the evil puppets. I thought they were only in the circus level, but they're back. And this time they have heal. Last time they had freeze. So they're... I actually don't know why they're there instead of one of these guys, because... And there's only one of them, too. That is baffling. I mean, you can see there's not a ton of... We have 3 artillery, so and they hit hard. So that's going to be a little tricky. Let's check out our boss here, Balbazak. He's pretty straightforward. He's like Elliot. He's just another guy who hits really hard at melee. And he'll be really hard killed because he has tons of HP. He's fast, so he'll get a lot of turns. He doesn't have quite as much defense as Elliot, if I'm remembering right, but he sure has a lot of attacks. So he is going to be challenging. Fortunately, we have plenty of flying people with... We have, you know, flying Domingo with magic and Kokichi with a spear. So we can surround him and do a lot of damage. But we're not going to fight this fight yet. I am going to get some attacks in just to get the exp, though. I want to finish exploring the town. I don't think this is... I think the next town we go to once we get the boat is the place where the next secret is. Very nice, Domingo. That wasn't much of a level up. Some of the level ups he got in the session, the grinding session I did not record, were like amazing. He got like 5 points of defense at one point. It was astronomical. Although as I've discovered from Googling, it will not... Oh, actually for him it does matter because he doesn't promote. But, you know, it will apparently all average out in the end because of the formula the game uses. So it's like, good levels, bad levels. What's the difference? Ooh, I wasn't... These guys are pretty aggressive. I didn't think they'd move so fast. But that didn't... I thought it would do more. I guess we've leveled up enough that it's not as dangerous. So there's... It's a small map and there's a lot of enemies on it compared to its size, but I think we'll be fine. I hope Henri will get Freeze 2 pretty soon. it's more powerful than Blaze 2. Good job, Henri. Once we have everyone at level 20 and promoted, I don't know if I'll keep leveling them up beyond that. I at least want to get everyone, you know, promoted so we can see their sprites and try them out in battle. I might. I guess it'll depend on how time-consuming it starts to get. There is at least one character that we'll get later on who is very cool, so I'd like to at least use them. But if I remember right, they are so difficult to level up. Oh, it's bad. Damn, Henri, you are very fragile. So fragile. She doesn't have a lot of defense, and she doesn't have a lot of HP, so she just dies really easily. Tao's actually a little tankier. Not like a lot tankier, but will not always die in one hit, you know. Good job, Guns. A deadly attack. Guns, his animations are really cool, too. Although his suit, again, I'm like, it seems like it would get really hot in that. It's a steam-powered suit. But it seems like super badass, and he's just like charging in with his lance. Good job, Xylo. We may end up doing this battle multiple times just because Ben did not get his turn yet, so like, hey, we may as well get some levels, and we're getting good XP here, even just for regular attacks, so... Did anyone... This is again the problem where Henri is hard to heal. We're not close enough to heal Tao. Because she just dies. When is Ben gonna get a turn? Fuck. I just want to escape the battle and finish exploring the town. And then I can get my laundry. That's literally all I want to do. But we're going through this elaborate sequence. I'm not winning the battle because I don't know whether we leave town immediately after. Because we will eventually get on that boat and leave. I just don't remember if we get another shot at exploring the town first. And I want to check out Earnest, too. He's in our headquarters. I guess I should have guessed this was some sort of plot door, but I honestly did not realize it led to a battle. Ben, when are you gonna get a turn, you fucker? Just, your turn is very important. You're the only one with egress. Ben, get a goddamn turn. It's just, I know there's a lot of enemies and that's part of why this takes so long, but God, finally! Oh, the entire Shining Force went before you did. Let's res onward while we're here. Oh, you'll also notice that the amount of money I have is different than last time in the last video. Basically, we had a lot of gold, so I went out and just bought equipment for everyone, even the characters we haven't been using, just so I don't have to shuffle it every single time I want to swap characters. And then, while I was grinding, we got more money, so we're like a tiny bit better off than we were to start. But first we drained everything. Maybe there's just not a lot. Where is the headquarters is what I want to know. Where's my... Is it in here and I just missed it somehow? No. That would take me back outside of the town. That's not what I want. Okay, well, he went forward, so in theory the headquarters should be up here somewhere. I'm just... Oh, I guess I missed it. Yeah, I was thinking this was a door, but I was like, I'll go through it later. This must be the... Are these just giant beds, or are they tables? They've got that white thing at the top, which is on the bed sprites. I give up, but Balbazak awaits you in the town harbor, so no one here is willing to fight. He's a vile worm, don't let him get away. What is the story with this place? Why do they all hate Balbazak? He's their... I can't fight anymore. I have it that you're invincible. Oh, maybe they've given up because, like, we've come this far, so they're afraid to fight us? Because they all seem to dislike Balbazak, even though he's technically their boss. Here's our motley crew. Let's go back here and say hi to Earnest. Look how many people there are in our army. I love him. You'll also notice that they're sitting in slightly different spots. I think it's because who's sitting where depends on who you have in your army, so they're like what part where they're on the list. And look, we even have Gung up here taking a nap. Although there's no sprite for lying down, so he's just standing on the bed. Sometimes it's good to stay down here. It's peaceful, but a bit noisy, mainly because you have like 20 other people down here. We really just have filled this space out. And there's still more characters to recruit. I do like seeing them all in the barracks. It's just so fun. It's like, oh, look at all these pals. So let's take a look at Earnest's stats. Ooh, he's a little behind. He comes in at 8, but we also just did a lot of grinding. His stats are about average, I guess. We'll train him like everyone else. I have to buy him some equipment, though, if we can find a shop. I guess... I'll see whether I end up grinding in this specific battle. Is this door locked? Nothing is unusual, but I can't get through. Maybe it's just the graphics? I seem to be able to walk into that spot, which... Is there a key I need to use? I don't have one. I guess we can try using the orb. I don't think there's a secret here because I looked up the list of secrets. Maybe it'll come up later? Because I can walk into that spot and not the rest of the wall, but I can't seem to do anything there. Which is odd. Well, Well, nothing else we can do about that, and there's an item shop here, but there doesn't seem to be a weapon shop, so let's just save the game. This was a short episode, just like half an hour, but it was a short battle, and I didn't have that much time either. So basically, we just recruited Earnest. We're gonna fight Balbazak, who... Oops! Dropped my controller again. We don't really know a lot about, other than that he, like, murdered Earnest's friends. We literally know nothing else about him except he's a terrible person. We're gonna defeat him. He's pretty scary looking. And then we're gonna get on a boat. And some crazy shit is gonna happen. And we'll keep leveling up the party, hopefully. We're nowhere close to promoting anyone, sadly, because I'm gonna wait to level 20. And we learned a little bit more about the mechanics of this game and how incredibly complex they are for some reason. They're more complex than seems necessary, but it's kind of... So basically everyone will just turn out how they'll turn out, you know? Good levels, bad levels, they'll all turn out about the same. Next time on Shining Force, you must strike down Balbazak and then get on a boat. So until then, goodbye Simone, goodbye viewers. This was Shining Force.